What's up, America? Hi, it's Fury. Nick Fury. This is day 3 in my themed week of depression. And if you've been watching these, great. So far, the answer is no, but that's fine. I want to start off with a disclaimer. This video is going to be a little bit different from the other two, uh, solely because it's entirely unscripted. The other two were largely unscripted. Well, the other two I'd written out. I wanted to get some thoughts out in a certain ordered fashion. With this one, I just wanted to talk to you for a bunch of reasons. The main one being this particular night, we are going to be talking about suicidal depression. It is heavy and it's serious. And if you're going through it, what you are seeking, I know, what you're hoping for is anyone who gets it, anyone who just can inherently understand what you need. And for me, it was a matter of, I'm not a trained actor, right? So I could write a script and get my thoughts in a particular ordered fashion so that the words come across properly. But I would lose the emotion, or at least part of the emotion I think is really important on connecting. Or I could free speak at you like I'm doing right now. I might get into a bit of a rant mode, which is unfortunate, but I mean, it's not like I've never spoken before. I'm going to take that risk in order to better connect to you personally, so you understand where I'm coming from. There are 3 things in particular I really want to say. I want to say a lot. But I think there's 3 things that need to come out of my mouth because you're not going to hear them from other places. And I also think I want to apologize. Because at the top of the week, I don't know, I set off with like this great big problem that only I could solve. And I realize now how arrogant that was. See, today was rough. At the beginning of the week, I was expecting to get to this day. I was expecting to get to Wednesday, Suicidal Depression Talk, provide some key answers, move forward, feel like a hero. Woo, Nick. What I failed to take into account, and I should have seen this coming, is that every single day I've been talking about depression, and every single day it's cost a little bit. Going out there, discussing this costs. It's draining. It's tiring. It leaves you vulnerable in ways that you don't expect. You think you're out and through it. You think you're done, and you're not. You have to go to that dark place again in order to really perceive it and comprehend it. And you think it's as easy as strolling right back out, and it's not. So some expert I am to sit here and keep making basic mistakes. I should have taken the toll into account, and I should have factored that in because at the beginning of the week I was feeling great. Hell, yesterday morning I was feeling great. And then someone said something to me last night. I was trying to explain this project I want to do, this problem that I see that I'm trying to help correct. I was trying to explain, and it's just shut down 100%. Didn't see that coming. Not from a depressed person, mind you, just from someone who wasn't there. who isn't here, never been here. The words that were used, they didn't come from malice. They weren't trying to be mean. They were just people. Just people being people. And I realized that the very first thing, if you're really going through suicidal depression right now, what you need to hear, I thought it was a definition of suicidal depression, which is where I'm going to go. I thought it was the way to get out of it, the meaning of suicidal depression, or the trick, to solving it, which we're going to get to. I thought those are the important bits, and they are, but those are bits 2 and 3. Number 1 is the people you're around and the need to forgive them. If you're going through this, you're going to need to forgive them because they don't know. They don't know, and you're going to go to them for help. You are going to sit here and be confused and angry. See, in your head, you're screaming, you know? Someone else is going to be like, no, man, you're something to worry about. Get over it. Stop whining. But you're not whining, are you? You're screaming at the top of your lungs. And you don't understand why when you laugh or when you smile or when you sing or when you do a dance or when you do something absolutely ridiculous, that no one sees the fact that you're screaming, that no one can pick up on it. And it's obvious to you. It's obvious you're doing your best to try to get help. And right over their head. That's going to be most people that you meet. That's going to be, in fact, damn near everybody. And the longer you sit and try to, what's the word? There's a word. This is why we write scripts. As long as you sit and believe that these people are going to be your salvation, you are going to be eternally disappointed. That came out darker than I wanted to. Shit. But it's true. And it's right. You have to forgive them. Because they're going to get it wrong. Every time. Now here's the good thing. The good thing is, if you are to make what you're feeling known, you're worried about how they're going to look at you because they're going to look at you wrong. You're worried about what they're going to say to you because they're going to say the wrong things to you. But the good news is that their intention is still good. Most are still going to want to help. And that's something. It's something. It's not great because it's like, I got this. Let me touch it. Stop it. Don't. That's why I didn't want to tell you in the first place. But that is still better than nothing. And nothing is what you're expecting. You're expecting the opposite. You're expecting, oh God, no, Jesus. I don't want to talk about that. Your problems aren't really your problems. That's what you're expecting. And some people are like that. Some people are just rude, you know? But most people aren't. Most people are the annoying kind of almost useless helpful. But they're trying. They're going to try to be helpful. They're going to get it wrong. And that's why you forgive them. So someone said something to me last night. And by the time I got to this place, I was expecting to be jubilant. I was expecting to show you the results of my techniques and the way that I think, and look how good we're doing. Look, you do this, you will feel this way. And I'd inherently forgotten that's not the point of the technique. It's not the point that we're trying to solve here. The point of this is not to become happy. The point of this is not to become immediately overnight solved. It's not going to happen. The point of this is to stay alive. My method will do that for you. Happiness is separate. I haven't figured out happiness. Most people haven't figured out happiness, but happiness and depression aren't the same. People think that's what that is. Like, people think, oh, I'm depressed, so happy. Like, I gotta be happy in order. No. Happiness is something else. I don't know what that is. I've got theories. I'm willing to talk to you about them, but that's not the point of this. The point is keeping you alive. So with all that said, let's get into it. Last night someone said something to me. Callous. Careless. And it was unfortunate because, it's one of those people who should have known better. It's one of those people who, you've been telling them, like, yeah, I'm going through this thing. I think I'm doing better, or I think I'm doing worse, or whatever is going on in your life. And they should have known. They should have known your status. And then they say this, and you think it's because they're straight up evil, and it's worse than that. They just weren't thinking. Evil is conscious. Evil is intent. Evil is something that you can fight and destroy. This is just people. And it almost killed me. Getting this close. This morning I woke up suicidal. So that's the first point I want to bring up. I think there's a major issue with the definition of suicidal depression. I would wager there are a lot of therapists out there who call it this thing, suicidal depression, and therefore set to go about fixing suicidal depression and cutting back on the arrogance. Instead of saying they're wrong, I posit a theory. I think there is a basic misunderstanding of the condition. And that is, you think that it is one thing. And it is not. Absolutely 100% not. Being depressed and being suicidal are two separate states. They happen to be happening at the same time. That's your issue. There are a lot of people who can be intensely depressed and not suicidal. And there's going to be a lot of people out there who are suicidal and not at all depressed. We got a fuck ton of suicidal people. So, the people who do you ever see those stunts where you're on a wire between like two towers, or you're doing some weird parkour and you're climbing, or you're jumping out of the goddamn airplane? You've accepted death. That's what suicidal means. It's it. It's not that you want it. A lot of people believe that if you're suicidal, you want to die. That is not necessarily true. Probably not true. If they're telling you that they're suicidal, I promise you they don't want to die. What might be true is that they might not want to live anymore. And that is an entirely separate beast. So, the method I'm going to lay out is going to be a means of combating the depression. Because the suicidal aspect is not the thing that's going to kill you. The depression will. The depression will cause a cascade of thoughts that trigger your suicidal acceptance, and then will lead to one particular moment. We're going to cover it. when you're depressed like this, no, I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing this wrong. I should continue my story. We need to figure out where this is coming from. So, there's been a lot of confusion out there about the causes of depression, and there are a multiple litany, a kaleidoscope? That's not the right word. Whatever. There's a mass of reasons. And depending on the way that you are, depending on the way that you think, and depending on the reason, will result in a specific type of depression that you can fall into. With suicidal depression, though, you have to understand that all depression really all depression can be born from any major life change. Now, I think that a lot of people who are depressed, I think a lot of therapists who are trying to treat depression are trying to go back in time and look for some specific bad event that happened to you. Hear me on this. Any major life shift can cause depression at some point down the road. This took me a while to figure out. This took me a while. Messed up it is, sometimes those life changes can be good, or they can at least seem good. Like, they hide, Like, it's going to take you forever to point out, oh, dude, it wasn't when my dad died, or it wasn't when, my dog disappeared, it wasn't when, that guy did that thing that we don't talk about, which all those things can also cause depression. No. It was when, I met this person, or it was when I did this one thing, and it was a great day, and then fucking 10 years later, it became this beast. You're not going to connect those two immediately. You're making the mistake of thinking that this happiness has nothing to do with this misery. So, let me give you an example. Let me complete my story. Yesterday, I was telling you about the first time I've been depressed. First time I've been consciously aware of my depression. It's a completely different type whatsoever. It wasn't suicidal in the least. It's just fucking apathy. Just complete shutdown. Overwhelmed, anger, frustration. And so I went back to square one and I figured out, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? What's my purpose? And I went back to when I was a child and I thought to myself, 3 things, man. Live alone, travel, be married. And so I set out to accomplish some of those things. Didn't get married, but we're getting to that. Did 2 out of 3. Did the living alone, which was glorious. I was the best version of myself. Started traveling, which was glorious. Met people, new experiences, new ways of thinking. I was active, and that keeps you busy, Type 1 apathy, that's easy to solve, or it's simple to solve. Just go out there and do. It's really that it. It's just, you got problems? Okay, well, fucking go do this. Solve your problems so that you can do this thing. You aren't solving your problems because you don't want to tackle the problem for no reason. Give yourself a reason. I'm in debt. Well, fuck, if I think about how much I'm in debt, I'm never going to get out of debt, Versus, I'm in debt, but I want to go to France. Shit. I really want to go to France. I got to solve that debt problem. Or, at the very least, solve half the debt problem. I can still go with debt. Screw it. I'm trying to get to France. That's my purpose now. That's what I'm going to do. That did it. And it worked. It worked for years. 23 for me was amazing. 24 was good. I finished writing a book. 25 was okay. And this is the point. At this point, I'm starting to slow down, for 2 reasons. First off, I wasn't feeling that depression anymore. I wasn't feeling that motivating force for when your life is in danger. And started slowing down, started feeling better, stopped taking the medicine, I should say, Stopped doing. Point 1. Point 2, I met one of the most important people to me in my life. I got a girlfriend. Not marriage, not the same thing, but got a girlfriend. And she was perfect. She was perfect, guys. Beautiful, smart, loyal, kind, caring, supportive. The kind of idiot who falls in love with somebody and just stays that way. Loves hard and fast. Definition of ride eye, this is something that dreams are made of. And so years later, I'm suicidally depressed. And that is 3 weeks ago, or this morning. We've been broken up for quite some time, but the depression came afterwards, and it took me a while to figure out how and why. Meeting her caused a shift in my priorities. It directly contrasted with my stated purposes. Wanted to live alone, not doing that anymore. Wanted to travel, can't as much, can't just get up and go. And the thing is, you're not thinking about this consciously. Depression is not going to be the immediate result of this. What's going to happen to you is that you're going to get confused. You're going to get confused and you're going to get restless. You're going to get frustrated and you're going to have this feeling like you need to be doing something and you're not going to know why. It's because your purpose is now in conflict, right? Because at the time I didn't realize it, but my purpose was shifting from what I wanted to do, which I know made me feel better, to this new thing that I haven't thought about consciously. I'm trying to devote myself to her, but it's not the same thing. So this isn't a purpose problem, it's a meaning problem. And I think I'm jumping ahead. I think this is where script would really come in handy. You can switch purposes as many times as you like. Just jump from ship to ship. You want to collect baseball cards, fine. You want to go to France, fine. You can do a lot of them concurrently. Is that the right word? Simultaneously? I think they're both right. Whatever. You can do them both at the same time. You can do 3 or 4 purposes at the same time. Whatever. Go out there and do it. What you can't do, what happens is your meaning is under attack. And this is going to take some definitions. I think I'm doing this a little amateurly. I'm sorry about that. But there's a difference between purpose and meaning. I know the words sound very similar. I know that a lot of people use them similarly. For these talks, they are very different. A purpose is literally just something you do. A meaning is something you devote yourself to. Purpose does not, meaning will shape your purpose. Purpose has nothing necessarily to do with your meaning. One will talk to the other. The other one, there's a one-way street. Now, so you're frustrated. So I'm frustrated. So I'm confused. And later on, like months, years, it's a process, man. It's a process. And you're going to go through other forms of depression through this. You're going to blame it on her. You're going to blame it on yourself. You're going to blame it on the world. You're going to blame it on a whole bunch of shit. I'm telling you what it is. Your meaning is now in conflict with your purpose. More importantly, better, you haven't defined your meaning. You don't know what you're doing anymore. And I'm 28, right? So I've never had a midlife crisis, or maybe I have. Maybe this is a midlife crisis. Maybe I'm only going to live to 46. Wouldn't be surprised. 56? Math. Whatever. Not my thing. But I am certain that's what this is, or that going through your midlife crisis depression, if it's not this, it's something very similar. It means that you've gone through, let's say, 30, 40, 50 years of doing a thing. And you've got all this stuff. You've got, the car and the kids and the wife and the fence. And all of a sudden, you wake up and you think to yourself, what does this have to do with anything? I've been doing all this stuff, but maybe you got hurt. Maybe you were tired. Maybe you just woke up one day and you thought to yourself, what does it all mean? I've been doing this routine, this just turning a gear for what? And you're going to realize that you had no meaning behind it. It's going to screw you up. It's going to screw you up bad. And this is why suicidal depression is so hard. This is why it's so much more intense than anything else. Because, and we're going to get to the moment, but the thing is, you are not going to be prepared to deal with this. Other forms of depression, there are ways out. There's ways you can burrow. There's tricks you can do. You can throw a rope and climb out. With this, you are going to be wholly unprepared when it hits you. And let me explain to you why. When you're going through it, you're going to be thinking about a lot. Just dark shit. Your mind's going to be playing tricks on you. You're going to think that you're worthless. You're going to think that no one's going to care if you're gone. You've been a bad friend. You might think that you deserve to be gone, like you're evil or something. There's a lot of really, really bad things that are going to hurt you. But those are not the thoughts that's going to kill you. Those are justifications. Those are thoughts that push you toward the moment. But if you look at them, they're also purpose questions or purpose statements. I'm worthless. Okay. Go out there and achieve worth. Make that your purpose. Make that your drive. Go make money. My friends wouldn't miss me. Well, to be fair, first off, we can make that your purpose of just go be a better friend. Go talk to people. And again, to be fair, we're going to talk about this more on Friday with community. But you've probably been pushing them away, haven't you? We're going to talk about that. You're a bad person. You don't deserve to live anymore. There's your purpose. Go. Try to make amends. Try to fix whatever you think you caused. All that's easy. All that's easy to solve, but that's not why you're fucked up. You're fucked up because of this question, the most dangerous question in the world. What's the point? What's the point? I was talking with a friend of mine. She's going through it. She's going through it, man. And I'm trying my best to help. And we're going to talk about that later on, too. But she's giving me, what's the point? She asks. We're all going to die anyway. We're going to die. Life is bullshit. There is no point. What's the point? The question is the most dangerous question in the world. But the answers are out there. There's more than one answer. It's only a real problem if you cannot answer it. Even then, like that's a problem. It's a major problem. But even then, you can be curious. If you can't answer it all, you can be curious. But if your answer comes back, what's the point? There is no point. That is the moment. If your answer comes back, there is no point. Pause. Stop right now. Recognize your life is currently in danger. That is the thought that is going to kill you. That thought above anything else. Now, we got a little bit of time. We got a little bit of wiggle room, all right? The good thing about depression is that most times, even though it's killing you, it's going to give you some time to get out of it. It's not immediate. It's not, what's the point? There is no point. Great, / Nope. It's not it. It's going to take you a while to build up the energy and really focus on that because you're not going to want to think about it. You're not going to want to think about there is no point. You're going to do some other shit. You're going to start, I don't know, taking drugs, drinking too much. You're going to start, going out, with your friends more often, you're going to start doing anything not to think about it, but you are going to keep coming back to this hole in your life. And eventually the hole's going to get bigger and you're going to fall through. That is what's going to kill you. This is why people die without any kind of note, without any kind of fucking warning sign. Oh, he was happy. He smiled. I saw him just yesterday. He never cut himself. He never hurt himself. I don't know why he would do this. I do. What's the point for him? Or her? Or them? There was no meaning in their life. And this is why it's such a problem, because if you've gotten to this point, it's not like you haven't been looking, it's not like you haven't been looking. Purpose is easy, but meaning is profound. And it's why it's going to really suck to be in this state for so long, because it's going to take you a while to get to this. It's going to take you a while to figure out your meaning. Now, here's where some tricks come in. And here's where I'm going to say some shit that's going to sound horrifying. It's going to sound really scary. But it's going to sound really scary to everybody who's not suicidally depressed. If you're suicidally depressed, you're going to get this immediately. And so if you hear this and you get immediately offended or you get immediately worried or you get outraged, I'm going to need you to do me a huge favor, a huge solid, and shut the fuck up before you start speaking. You're going to react because this is going to be scary to you. But because of that thought, that's why you can't help them. Now, I might be wrong, but you're not going to say this. Therapists aren't going to say this. Quite frankly, I'm not wrong. I've lived through it. If you're going through this, listen up. There's something that you need to hear that you're not going to get from anyplace else. People are going to tell you that suicide is not an option. I'm going to tell you it is absolutely an option. And the thing is, you already know that. You know that. Everybody else, they don't live here. They don't live in this place. They've never been in this place. So they inherently do not understand that death is not what you're afraid of. You're not afraid of death. You've already considered it. You know that shit's coming. Suicide's absolutely an option. It doesn't scare you. You're looking for any reason to not do it. That's the thing. Life is what scares you. Life is what's got you all fucked up. You're trying to find any reason at all to wake up tomorrow. Fuck. I gotta sit here and deal with this stuff. I gotta go meet Tina tomorrow. Fucking, what's the point? I don't know, man. There is no point. Oh shit. I should just call it quits. Dude, you could. I could do it. I don't want to do that though. I mean, everyone keeps telling me it's a bad thing, right? Is it? I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I don't want to die. You don't want to die. No one wants to die. Anyone who wants to die is dead. That's how that works. You tell me you want to die, I tell you you're asking for help. You would not be speaking to me if you wanted to die. If you want to die, no note, no question mark, you go out there and you fucking do it. It is that simple. More importantly, you are probably not watching this video. If you're watching this video, I am confident in everything I've said, even though it's terrifying, because you're looking for help, you're looking for meaning. And there's a reason I say find meaning, because you are not alone. You're not the first person to go through this, not by a long shot. And you know it. There's meaning everywhere. Right? But everyone's going to try to tell you it's going to be all okay. You know it's not okay. They're going to try to help with, oh, there's so much to live for, and it's going to fuck your head up, because that's what you don't want to hear. You don't believe there's anything to live for, so stop telling me there's something to live for. Here's the trick. Here's where meaning comes into play for suicidal depression. Stop looking for something to live for. Look for something to die for. You know that death is coming. You know that's an option you can take. In a weird way, it's almost comforting. You can't look at suicidal thoughts and be afraid of that. Everyone else is going to try to focus on getting you out of this place. But that's for other forms of depression. That's not what this is about. This is about building a home in the dark and learning to live there. And it's shitty. I'm not going to lie to you, it's going to be shitty. But while everyone else is afraid of the dark, you're just going to learn not to be. You're going to look for light, but that's what went wrong before. That's why you woke up with your midlife crisis. Your light has been this purpose, and you found out your purpose was a lie because it never defined your meaning. So you have to be in the dark for a while. The dark isn't going to kill you. And there's deeper darkness. It's a further place to go. Don't focus so much on getting back. Focus on getting through. Push through. That's the way you go. There are other methods. They're not the methods I use, so I can't talk to them right now. I'd love to explore them with you, but I'm telling you, if you want something that's going to work, don't worry about getting back. That journey looks exhausting. Push through. Push forward. Face death. Accept it. And then you realize there is so much little to be afraid of after that. People live in their life, they live in fear all the time. They're constantly scared about offending someone, about money, about keeping up the house, about, producing kids, whatever it is. You will be fearless. You're going to realize, dude, everything else is just marbles. Everything else is simple. What can compare? When you take away the fear of death, what compares? You can do anything. You're free. You're free. But again, not easy. Again, takes time. Again, terrifying. Don't get me wrong. When you're through, you're good. But getting through is a bitch. It's a bitch and a half. So you need a reason to get through. This is why religion exists. This is why people find God. This is why... Okay, so how to get through. Religion's a great place to start. Go look for God. God does a lot. God allows you to feel part of a bigger community. God allows you to feel that you're not alone. God allows you to feel there's a singular positive force in your life that wants the best for you. It works wonders. Not my bag. And this is why I say find, because there's a worse bit. You've got all kinds of things. You've got all of human history available to you now, right? So you can explore God or gods or philosophies or whatever. But if you've been looking and looking and looking and you still haven't found anything, well, shit, you're going to have to create one. That's what I had to do. And I really wish I had gotten this morning on camera. I really wish I did. But I mean, that's the thing, right? It's impossible. You can never tell when the suicidal moment is going to come, because I'm telling you, man, I was there. I was there today. And it wasn't about, taking a knife to my heart or buying a gun. You know what it was? I was going to drive. I was going to just drive west. was going to drive west. I'd never seen Seattle before. And I figured it'd be a great place. It'd be the one thing I want to do before I go. I want to go take my time, take a month, stop at places, wind up in Seattle, and meet the ocean on the West Coast, and just drive into the ocean. Just roll the windows down, let the water fill up, and just be done. And I'm sitting here, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm realizing how easy it would really be. You know, I'm an Uber driver now, or you can become a Lyft person. Like, you don't even, whatever job you have, you don't even need it anymore. You can literally just drive, and you can make your money while driving. You can make your entire way all across the country and then just be done. It would have been easy. And I knew how easy it was. And then my mechanism kicked in. And I could feel myself getting pulled back. You know, I was crying. And it wasn't sobbing. That's why I wish I got it on camera, because the one thing that we don't get, the one thing you can't find anywhere, is seeing someone hit that moment. And so, like, normal people don't get the suicide moment. Normal people don't get to see where that place in real life. And suicidal people don't ever get to see when you start walking back, when you start getting pulled back. No one gets to see that. And the world would be infinitely better if both sides could see both options. You know, it would be so much more understanding. Quite frankly, if I had done this video earlier today, I probably could have gotten back to that place. I probably could have been there, but, you know, for obvious reasons, I didn't want to. It's still scary. It's still scary. Like, don't think that you're going to be immediately fixed. Don't think that you're not going to be scared. But to answer your question, like, you know, purpose is selfish. Purpose is you. Meaning is so profound, because I'm going to leave you with this. I've been talking for a long time. The meaning is something that's bigger than you. People living their lives, they're just going by the motions. And you can live an entire half-life on purpose alone. There are plenty of people, in fact, most people, who never even think about their meaning. Either it comes to them naturally or just never occurs to them at all. Lucky fucking bastards. They're also kind of shittier people. Ever noticed that? Ever noticed that? They're kind of just worse people. You think you're broken. I'm telling you the opposite. You're fucking thinking. You're thinking, and that's why you feel bad. You know, for whatever reason. You're trying to solve that confusion. By the end of this, you'll be a more empathetic person. By the end of this, you will be a better person. By the end of this, you will be something fearless. Something beyond just human and common. But it's going to mean a lot of pain. And if you don't have a reason to get through that pain, it'll break you. It's going to break you either way, actually. It's going to break you either way. The reason is what pulls you back together. So if you've been looking, and if God isn't enough for you, if, you know, you can't obsess over Brussels sprouts or farming or whatever the fuck it is. You might be feeling bad because you have kids or a husband, and you think, you know, I wish they were enough to make me not want to commit suicide. Don't. Your kids, your husband, your wife, that can be your meaning. But if it wasn't, it wasn't. Like, this is the point. This is the point I think I'm trying to make. You can acquire things that can become your meaning when you aren't thinking about them. This is one of my major regrets. When I was talking about the girlfriend earlier, I could have made her my meaning. A lot of me thinks I fucking should have. But I realized on the on the inside, on the deepest level, it wasn't conscious. It was unconscious, which is why I fucking ended up in this mess 3 years later. Unconsciously, I realized if I were to if I wanted to keep the girlfriend, right, that would mean sacrificing the purposes I had built up to that point, the purposes that have been keeping me going. It would mean giving up on myself, on the idea of myself. And at the time, I was young and I was stupid and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Maybe I was right and maybe I was wrong. I know that the fact I didn't think about it cost me both. I know that because I tried to live a half life, half with her and half with travel. I ended up spending more money than I needed to, ended up confused and directionless. And now I can't go anyplace. Not because I'm with her, because I don't have any money. I haven't thought it through. And I can't stay with her because I want to go do things. So I lost her. And when I say lost, keep in mind who I'm talking about. This is the ride or die. Depression doesn't cause you to lose people. Depression causes you to push them away. You ever see those scenes where, like, you got the dog or the puppy and you start just throwing rocks? Get out of here, go. That's what depression's going to make you do. And then when you've done it and you're left alone, you're going to realize you did it to yourself. And it's going to be wild. It's going to be a wild fucking ride. But I acquired her without thought. So I had to reconcile. That was my version of reconciliation. It was a choice. Mistake? Yeah. But some mistakes you're gonna need to make. That's it. That's it. Look, man, that's it. You want to go through life perfect? It's not gonna happen. There are mistakes you're going to need to make. You can't avoid them. There are gonna be mistakes that you might even see coming, but you're not gonna know how to deal with it until you've been hit. Sucks. I'm sorry. I'm spiraling off, and I need to focus for just 2 more minutes so I can make my point and get out of your hair. I'm sorry. Meaning. You're suicidal. You might not want to live anymore. You might be okay with the thought of death, thought of dying. So when I say something to die for, here's what I mean. You're going to die? Okay. Don't die pointlessly. Don't die for no reason. Don't let some bullshit be the cause of your death. Find something to devote yourself to. And in order to do that, you are going to need to pick something that is greater than yourself. You got a husband and your kids? Make them your meaning. Make them your meaning. All right? Take yourself out of the equation. I am going to kill myself today, but I can't. Why? What's the point? The point is I love these people. And if it is true that I love them, I cannot leave them in pain. I cannot let them hurt just because of me. If you're selfish, if you cannot get over yourself, you will not make it through and you will die. But your life is already in danger. You're going to need to take some blows and you're going to need to in a weird way, you're dying anyway. In a weird way, your sense of self is being murdered for a greater purpose. Your purpose, your meaning, that can vary. You can join a cult. I would advise against it. You can go find God if that appeals to you. It's not my bag. Mine, I came up with an objective reason to love people. My meaning is you. It's why I'm sitting here talking to you, and it's why I'm able to talk to you. This is one of the scariest things I've ever done. You don't really hear it, but it is. I haven't seen anyone who just opens themselves up for this kind of scrutiny about something that, nearly murdered me a couple hours ago. And I'm not afraid of death. Death doesn't bother me. And I'm no longer depressed. That's the thing. I had a really dark moment today where the depression, the expanse, that's gone. I feel good most of the time. But it doesn't mean you can't get back to that moment. Solving depression, solving suicidal depression does not mean you won't be there again. What you are inventing is a recall button, a recall mechanism. I'd love to see how you view it, how you view depression, how you view the suicidal moment. Talk to me, leave a comment, like, subscribe. I gotta get out of here. If I keep on, I'm just gonna keep talking, and I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to ruin what I've already put down here, and I think I've bungled some things. But for me, it's a cliff. For me, I imagine this end, like this plateau, and there's rocks. It's craggy, and it's slippery, and it's wet because water keeps crashing over these cliffs. And it's dangerous to be out there. And you get out there and you stand, and 1 foot is over the abyss, and you look down. And no one's around you because so few people can go there. It's dark. It's scary. I could slip. I could fall. Jesse's out there. How do I get to him? I can't go out there. I got you, fam. I've been there before. I'll go get him. I'll go get Jesse. But behind you is the city and the lights. You know the funny thing is? I think a lot of people, when they see suicidally depressed people, like break down in tears, they think it's because they're overwhelmed by the thought of death. And it's not why I cried today. It's not why I cried at all. I cried because I didn't. I cried because I had to go back to the city. I cried because, fuck, that looks so peaceful. It looks so peaceful down there. But people still need my help. They still need my help, and I love them. So I can't be down there yet. I gotta go back, and I gotta get hurt more. I gotta take hits. I gotta suffer. I gotta suffer for the rest of my life. And it's gonna suck. I want that peace. But more than I want that peace, I want my people to be happy and healthy and whole. And if there's anything I can do, anything at all, I can do to make that happen, that peace is going to come. Whether I jump off the cliff now or whether they lower me there at the end of 80 years, that peace, I'm going to get that peace. But only if I stay on this side can I help them. And more importantly, you can get mugged in the city, but there's also fucking booze and Ferris wheels. There's a lot of fun to be had. Everything interesting is happening back there. I'll get to peace. But there is work to do. I love you. You're not alone. I'm going to go handle this. And tomorrow we will talk about tips and tricks, coping mechanisms. Friday we will talk about community and how to interact with the people that you're around. And more importantly, how to talk. I'm going to talk to the people about how to interact with you. And Saturday I will be watching these videos and I'll go over stuff that I missed. If there's any questions that you have, I'd love to talk to you about them. Thank you for listening.